the male underwear parts in catalogs and also the female ones are almost exclusively Westerners. She would like to have a taller nose. She admires the taller nose. Hey guys and girls on Ask Japanese, it's Kat the Cat. Greetings from Tokyo. Now, during the 5... なんかすごいうるさい。ちょっと待って。Hey guys and girls on Ask Japanese, it's Kat the Cat. Greetings from Tokyo. During the last 5 years, I was working here as flashy fashion reporter interviewing Japanese people. What do Japanese people envy about foreigners is a question that came up a lot, and that was actually very popular amongst you guys too. So this time we're going to talk about some of those issues that Japanese people have with foreigners, or maybe admirations and similar things that we heard in interviews before. We're going to find out what they are, give a little bit of a summary of them, and I might give you my 2 cents about them. And if one of you guys is Japanese or has lived in Japan or Japanese heritage and you heard some of those cliches before, or you have other ideas, be sure to let us know those in the comments as well. Looking forward to hearing your opinion too.
よろしくお願いします。
You guys know this too from the media. We see those perfect Hollywood stars, perfect teeth, perfect face, perfect body, everything. In Japan, the media is doing something very similar, and the ideal is often being pushed in a lot of media here in Japan that ideal seems to be, in certain situations, Western people. For example, what really surprised me, the Japanese fashion brand, they almost exclusively use Westerners as their models. They even fly people in to model for their fashion, even though they're actually a Japanese fashion brand. There's a lot of fashion magazines that do actually have Japanese people in, but then the underwear pages are all suddenly Westerners, or sometimes you'll see like pictures of like smiling perfect Westerners like on top of catalogs, on top of even dentistries and similar things like that, and I'm like, where are they getting these people from? No one looks this perfect. And also one thing that's really confusing is the male underwear parts in catalogs and also the female ones are almost exclusively Westerners. Why? If you open a wedding catalog or similar, you'll be surprised to find out that almost 100% of those seems to be Western models modeling for wedding dresses and similar. Sometimes you see a Japanese lady and a Western man in a tux or similar things. Or even I heard that some people who came here to Japan actually became priests because it looks better or kind of cooler if the priest is a Westerner to go with that. And that really surprised me because why? So during a street interview in Tokyo, I asked people what do they envy so much about foreigners, and number one of the race things was generally eyes.
お目もパッチリで緑の目の色ですよね。すごく羨ましいなと思って、その目がでいつも綺麗だなと思って見てます。外国の方を。
Eyesight, because we have different eye colors, or many people have different eye colors in the Western world, and they say the eyes have different colors and the eyes are bigger, or sometimes even the hair saying you have different hair colors. With us, it's generally just like dark hair or black hair, brown hair, that kind of thing. So these ones have been raised a lot. Maybe the media and anime and manga have pushed that image as well, but I think there is actually something so magical about the image of the Japanese beauty, about the long dark hair and stuff like that. But maybe it's partly connected to the grass is always greener on the other side.
しばらくお待ちください。
Then number 2 that is usually mentioned after that is 足長いし, meaning your legs are so long, or foreigners' legs are so long. And
スタイルがいいところとかですね。
例えば何のスタイルが好きですか？
足がすごい長かったり、あとは女性がすごい理想的なスタイルだなって思います。みんな西洋系の人とか結構アメリカ系の人みんなスタイルいいと思います。
If you've seen me interview people on the streets of Tokyo, some of them have longer legs than I do. So there seems to be the thought that foreigners naturally have longer legs, but I wish I had been blessed with those, because I really don't. Actually, some Japanese people have longer legs than I do. I never gave my lid crease much thought, but here in Japan, quite a lot of people are very aware of what type of lid crease they have. There are even different words for it, like how deep the crease is, if it's kind of hooded, and similar things like that. And that did surprise me because many Japanese people tried to use stickers or tape or glue, or even going to get surgery, any kind of things to create that lid crease. If you've seen the most recent video we did with makeup here on Ask Japanese, you could also see what efforts go into creating a lid crease. There is definitely a change, but you know, the wonderful, beautiful almond eyes are actually adored by people abroad too. Now, while girls generally focus on the legs and how slender and stylish foreign girls seem to be, guys in Japan, mainly in our interviews, focused on gatai ga ii, meaning the foreigner boys are built very well in the way of they're more muscly, they seem to be stronger, or it seems to be easier for them to gain muscle mass. No, I'm not sure if that is true. I'm kind of curious about that. But in Japan, there seems to be more a style of a hoso macho, meaning slender but muscly. Not overly bulky and muscular, but having some muscles there, and you know they're there, but generally on a skinnier type of frame of body. As a little bit of extra trivia here, also Japanese people generally really are super cleansing, and they shave a lot, meaning actually 100% of my Japanese friends, female friends, shave absolutely everything, legs, armpits, but also arms, also eyebrows, a lot of things, like very cleanly shaven. Same thing for boys. You generally don't really see Japanese men with beards. They're always cleanly shaven. It goes to the Seiketsukan. We've done a video about that one, and it's said that about 1,000 years ago, there are already documents about Japanese people shaving. Some people say it's because of the Western culture coming in and there's more revelation of skin, and due to that, people are making sure that those bits of skin that are revealed are totally hairless. Now, this is not about looks, but a lot of Japanese people envy that foreigners can say what's on their mind, speak out what they want to say things directly.
すごい嫌なもの嫌ってしっかり言ってくれて、日本人にはないなんていう性格で、その裏表があんまりないから気軽なんですね、すごい生きていくのに。
At least this is what some people in the interviews have told us. Now, what do we mean by that? Japanese people are a very harmonious culture, and they also say, there is a saying, kotoba no catchboard, meaning you are kind of throwing the conversation at the other person and then it throws it back to you. You generally don't interrupt people. You generally don't have big arguments with people. If your boss is talking down at you, you just go like, oh yes, sorry, I'll do it better, that kind of thing. And that helps a lot to the harmony. But some Japanese people, and generally the younger generation, admires a little bit that the Westerners can be a little bit more outspoken, talk back, have a discussion, and don't have to hold these kind of things in. I learned after living here in Japan to actually wait until the other Japanese person finished their sentence. Otherwise, you just end up talking by yourself. And I must say, I'm like the tiniest person. I was the smallest girl out of all my friends. And they never really gave me a chance to sometimes speak out. I was always getting interrupted. So coming to Japan, I'm really happy that they didn't constantly interrupt what I was saying. And they were actually listening. That kind of made me happy. Another thing is Westerners can be loud and outspoken, and it's okay. Westerners can come up to strangers and say, hi, how are you doing? Westerners can go like, hey, what's up? That kind of happy and energetic greeting and similar things like that is kind of rare. Japanese people tend to be more shy, more quiet, and more reserved. But that also makes a lot of things in this culture work somewhat smoother. So for example, if you go into a Japanese train, even though the train is absolutely packed, it will be quiet because everyone is keeping to themselves. Everyone is thinking about their own things to do. No one's bothering other people. So it's actually a thing that makes Tokyo and similar things work like that. Also, sometimes you can see Japanese people talking louder. So for example, when a boss is talking with his superior and maybe he's telling him something to do, or maybe he's a little bit upset about what the superior did. But the moment they go into the elevator, they're completely quiet because they don't want to bother the people around, and their business is not your business. No one's kind of interfering with each other's lives and kind of thing. So keeping to themselves, and that quietness actually, I must say, is kind of nice because you can walk down the streets here in Tokyo and people are not shouting things at you, inappropriate things. For girls, there's no catcalling. A wonderful part of that one is, though, that no one bothers you, meaning no one actually comes and says negative things in your face. Like sometimes in the Western societies, you have absolute strangers coming up to you and telling you you suck. Or as a girl walking down the street, there's no catcalling. That's wonderful. Or as someone who dresses like me in crazy flashy fashion, you don't have random people coming and telling you their opinion on your fashion style. Everyone is keeping to themselves. They're thinking what they want to think, positive or negative things. Actually, Japanese people do speak out and they say positive things. So when they see someone who's walked down the street who's cool, so to the guys they would say kakkoi, like you look cool. Or if a girl walks down the street and she wears something cute, girls will say kawaii, you look cute. And that kind of stuff is so positive. I love it. What people in the Japanese media are getting portrayed is not a Western image, but actually a Western ideal, meaning the perfect Westerner with the perfect sizes and the perfect looks. But let's be honest, we don't look like those people in commercials either. So actually, guys, we're all getting fooled by the media, by the perfect people, and by the Instagram and the face filters and all of that. We're always going to look up to other people, and it's ironic because we're trying to facilitate a culture of perfectness that we just can't reach.
鼻が高い。
鼻高いって日本でいいことですか？
みんな羨ましがってます。
綺麗に見える。横顔がやっぱ綺麗に見える。
One example, one Japanese girl was very surprised. She said she would like to have a taller nose. She admires the taller nose. And then I told her, you know, in the West, some people get nose reductions to have them smaller. And she was like, what? Why? So we always try to aspire to that one ideal. And, you know, it's really hard to reach that because it's an ideal. It's not really that real. We're always going to aspire to be a little bit better and look up to those perfect images, but if we keep doing that too much, it might damage our own mental health and maybe even our bodies. So guys, let's try and stay positive about things like that. So what do you think about the points race? Do you have something similar in your culture? Well, there's like an ideal that is so hard to reach, or a weird beauty trend that is trying to get pushed into your culture? Let us know in the comments down below. Okay guys, this was it from Tokyo today. There is more coming in your direction. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll catch you soon with another video on Ask Japanese if you have subscribed. And don't forget to give us a like on the way out. Catch you guys soon. And if you're not really curious about the content of the stuff I was telling you about, it ain't coming out of my head. It came from our street interviews. We have 5 years worth of really cool street interviews, and I'm gonna pop a couple of links down in the comment box below so you can actually find some topics that we picked up in this video and hear it from Japanese people. So, I'll catch you soon for more stuff on Ask Japanese. Bye!